After my fiancé Liam lost his memory, he completely forgot about me. He only remembered Sophia, the secretary he spent every day with, in order to cancel the engagement. Liam had someone frame me. He took indecent photos of me. He said to me, "Fiona, your reputation is now ruined. How can you still have the face to enter the Johnson family? You'd better withdraw from the engagement on your own initiative." I was feeling down. I was planning to cancel my live streaming account and withdraw from the internet. But I accidentally overheard him talking to his assistant. "Liam, if Fiona finds out you're faking your memory loss, will it affect you?" "She won't find out. Besides, I just want to try something new. When I've had enough, I'll remember what happened before." Liam smiled coldly, but I felt terrible inside. He had no idea. While he was being bullied by those people, I had already accepted the proposal of the person he hated the most. That person even told me, "A week from now is a good day. I will give you a wedding you will never forget." My photos were maliciously spread. They were all over the internet. My fiancé was responsible for all of this. My live broadcast channel was maliciously attacked. The hot search was full of negative news about me. He is still in bed recovering from his injuries. When he saw me, he immediately made a disgusted expression. "Fiona, you still have the face to come to me. Now your photos are all over the internet. A woman as indiscreet as you. How could I still want to?" Liam spoke loudly. The people around me began to look at me with strange eyes. "Isn't this the online host? I heard that she has tens of millions of followers. She can be playful in private. She acts very pure in her live broadcast room. But who knows what kind of relationship she has with those who give the most rewards in private." I was fully clothed, but I felt like I had been stripped naked in public. I'm a serious clothing host. Because I have a lot of followers, I'm kind of a little internet celebrity. Liam is my fiancé, but after a car accident, he completely forgot about me. He only remembered his secretary, Sophia. He even said that she was the one. I immediately took out the photo album we took together, trying to help him remember, but he didn't even look at it. He just threw it in the medical trash. Now, he even paid some unscrupulous people to slander my reputation. He wanted me to withdraw from the engagement of my own accord. If not for his archenemy Ethan passing by, I would have been ruined long ago. The overwhelming online violence made me gasp for breath. But I overheard his conversation with his assistant, Liam. "If Fiona finds out that you are actually faking amnesia, will it affect you?" "She won't find out. Not to mention that I just want to try something new. When I get bored of it, my memory will naturally return." So Liam was faking his memory loss. He went to all this trouble, just so he could be with Sophia openly. I tried to calm my emotions, and said with a bitter smile, "I agree to dissolve the engagement. I came today to get back the jade talisman. My mother gave it to him as a gift. It is specially given to Fiona's son-in-law. Now that my mother is gone, I should take it back." Liam paused for a moment. His face did not have the happy expression I expected. He said, "The jade pendant. I already gave it to Sophia. There is no reason to take back something that has been given away." I laughed coldly. "In that case, forget it. Something that has been used by someone else, I don't want it anymore." "Fine. From today onwards, you can go your own way. I'll cross my own bridge." I heard Liam as if he had something to say. I immediately turned around and walked towards the door. Just then, Liam's assistant rushed in. Sophia drank a blood-activating and stasis-resolving nourishing soup during her period. She suffered from heavy bleeding and went into shock. She is currently being resuscitated. After hearing this, Liam's face instantly turned gloomy. He stood up abruptly. He grabbed my wrist. He pushed me to the ground with all his strength. "Fiona, I never thought you were so ruthless. You actually set Sophia up." I frowned. I didn't think this made sense. I had just entered the hospital, and for some reason I was being blamed. I had never sent Sophia any nourishing soup. What did I have to do with her losing blood and going into shock? Liam didn't listen to my explanation at all. He stubbornly believed that I was the murderer. He questioned me. "Apart from you, who else would go to such lengths? You think because you harmed Sophia, I will be with you, don't even think about it. Someone like you is not even worth my choosing." His words were like a sharp knife, stabbing into my heart. I froze. My eyes suddenly reddened. I'm an internet anchor. I have a lot of followers. Sometimes an inadvertent action can attract criticism, but Liam never believed this. He said I was straightforward and cute. He likes my personality, but now he's calling me shameless. This means that he actually has a long-standing opinion about me. He just didn't say anything before. He grabbed my arm tightly and took me to Sophia's room. He told the doctor, "Doctor, she also has golden panda blood. Quickly take her blood to save Sophia." Liam really lost his mind. Sophia is suffering from excessive menstrual bleeding. She will recover if she gets proper treatment, but I have anemia. If I just give blood to anyone, I could be in danger. On the day Sophia started working here, Liam looked at me and said in a serious tone, "I've hired a new secretary. She also has golden panda blood. In the future, if you get hurt, you won't have to worry." Because of my special blood type, Liam deliberately added an internal rule to the company. Anyone with golden panda blood can start working here directly without having to take an exam. Ironically, I've never given Sophia a blood transfusion. Now I have to give her one. My heart aches. "Liam, didn't you say you had amnesia? Then how come you remember my blood type?" Liam is taken aback. His expression is a little uncomfortable. What's so strange about that? I've heard people talk about it. He really just blurted it out. Cut the crap. Hurry up and give Sophia the transfusion. He didn't wait for me to answer and pulled my arm to the doctor. A sharp pain shot through me. The transparent infusion tube was instantly dyed red. I felt increasingly weak. Liam didn't even look at me. His attention was entirely on Sophia. As soon as she woke up, he immediately handed her a glass of warm water. "Hurry up and take her to the next room. Don't give her anything to eat, and don't give her any water either. Tell her to wait there. Think about what she's done." That's it. I was carried onto a mobile hospital bed after losing so much blood. I couldn't even stand up straight. I was at the mercy of others. The medical staff, who had been so enthusiastic about me before, calling me the CEO's wife, now looked on with indifference. So many photos have been taken of me. How can I face the world? I would be ashamed to show my face. Who wouldn't feel that way? It's outrageous. They openly mocked me in front of me. Only the new trainee nurse, taking advantage of the fact that no one was looking, came in quietly and gave me some water. "Fiona, it really wasn't your fault. Don't pay any attention to what they say." She saw how weak I was. Tears welled up in her eyes. "Liam did something really wrong. How could he just leave you here alone?" I forced a smile. He said he didn't want to marry me anymore. He made a bunch of excuses. "In that case, then I'll marry someone else." The nurse thought I was rambling, but I was actually very clear-headed. A few days ago, I ran into a group of people with malicious intent. At that time, I really felt like something was going to happen to me, but I never expected to encounter Ethan in that situation. He is Liam's sworn enemy. Ethan is famous in the circle as a cold and aloof male god. I never expected him to take the initiative to stand up for me. He fought against 7 or 8 thugs alone. Although the person taking the photo ran away, he did protect me. He saved me from harm, seeing the bruises on his body. I suggested going to the pharmacy to get them treated, but he acted like it didn't matter. "It's just a small injury. Are you okay?" His eyes were full of concern and worry. For a moment, I was a little overwhelmed. I shook my head. He smiled. He looked relaxed and carefree. It was completely different from the aloof image that people had of him. He asked me, "I saved you. You should repay me. How about I promise myself to you? What do you think?" He spoke with a hint of teasing, but I could tell he was serious. He quickly reached out and covered my mouth. He said, "Give me your answer in 3 days. I will only accept one reply." I couldn't help but nod. I was probably still in shock from earlier. Those rude words still echoed in my ears. It made my heart feel cold. "It was your fiancé who asked us to come. He said you were lonely and suffering. He needed us to keep you company." Ha 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 ha. I lost a lot of blood. I soon fell into a deep sleep. I was later awakened by the sound of voices outside. They were discussing. Sophia is quite capable. She even convinced Liam to pressure the board of directors. She was promoted to assistant president. That's half a level higher than vice president. It seems that in the future, important decisions in the company will have to go through Sophia. Hearing such outrageous news, I was furious. The company is my father's lifelong achievement. How could he joke with the future of the company? Sophia is clearly incompetent. I couldn't care about my discomfort. I forced myself to go to Liam, but just as I was about to push the door, I saw a scene that surprised me. In the hospital room, their clothes were messy. They were breathing heavily. He whispered, "Baby, I paid a heavy price this time. Fiona's reputation is completely ruined. How are you going to thank me?" Liam's expression became a little strange. He gently lifted Sophia's chin and asked, "Liam, have I not taken good care of you? You haven't taken good care of me. How could I choose you over Fiona? There are scars on her legs. It's uncomfortable for people to look at." I heard their conversation. I felt cold all over. My teeth started to chatter. Liam dislikes the scar on my leg. He thinks it's ugly, but the scar was left when I was trying to save him. My leg was burned by the fire. At that time, I stayed in the ICU for a week. During that time, I received multiple notifications of critical condition. I took a deep breath. I pushed open the door with all my strength. The two people in the ward didn't expect it. They immediately got under the covers. "Who told you to come in now?" Liam grabbed the Roman IV pole next to him and threw it at me. I was weak. A large cut opened on my forehead. The blood wouldn't stop flowing. "Why didn't you move out of the way?" Liam's eyes were filled with worry. I wiped the blood from my face, took a deep breath, tried to calm myself down. "Liam, my parents worked hard to establish this company. I hope you will take this into consideration when making personnel changes. I promise you, I will never appear in front of you again." Liam listened. He froze for a moment. He said, "I didn't mean it like that. You have a bad reputation now. Which company would want you? You'd better stay with me for now." I clenched my fists. He obviously set me up before. Now he's pretending to be nice. Sophia reacted quickly. After listening to what I said, she immediately started to steer the conversation. "Fiona, you think I'm not professional enough. Liam has always personally trained me in my work. Or is it because you feel uncomfortable? That's why you're always picking on me." I was going to say more, but Liam suddenly lost his temper. He said something about thinking of the company's interests. "In fact, you're just jealous of Sophia. If I let you off so easily, who knows what else you'll get up to." After he finished speaking, he called his assistant and bodyguard and had them lock me in the basement of his villa. "Liam, you got someone to bully me. It's not enough that you've ruined my reputation. Now you want to illegally detain me. What are you talking about? When did I let them bully you? You really never tell the truth." Sophia was fanning the flames. "Liam, maybe we should just let it go. Fiona hates me. I brought this on myself." Liam didn't hesitate. He immediately told the bodyguard to take me to the villa. I was locked in a dark basement. I didn't even have the freedom to move around. I felt like a caged animal. It wasn't long before Sophia came in. She stood in front of me, looking down at me condescendingly, her eyes full of contempt, as if she was looking at a worthless person. "Fiona, do you really think Liam loves you? He only wants your family's money, since you're dying soon. I'll be kind enough to tell you the truth." Sophia handed me a stack of documents. It detailed how Liam had taken over my family's company step by step. I looked at the information incredulously. My heart was full of doubt and shock. How could this be? How could he do such a thing? I stared at the black and white information in front of me. My face paled. My hands trembled uncontrollably. It turned out that his former love was just a means to deceive me. Want revenge, unfortunately. You no longer have the chance. Ethan hugged me tightly. He didn't let go. He immediately told his men to play the video from that day. What happened to me that day wasn't just about being taken indecent photos. Those rascals clearly intended to completely ruin my reputation. How could this be? How could this be? I clearly told them that as long as they took some photos and scared me a bit, it would be fine. How could this be? Liam suddenly turned pale, as if he had discovered some shocking truth. Even his lips were trembling. "Haha, I really don't know how you have managed to grow such a big company with such a low IQ. Perhaps you should ask your close partner. How much did you pay those street thugs?" Ethan's words were full of obvious sarcasm and cynicism. He was relentless. Liam, however, was completely stunned. He asked with a blank expression. "What?" He slowly turned his head, looking at Sophia next to him. She was already pale with fear. "Liam, no, it really wasn't me. It wasn't you. Your little tricks may have fooled Liam, but they didn't fool me." Ethan gave a wink. His men immediately played the video of the thug's confession. "It was a woman named Sophia who found us. She paid us a lot of money to go to the back alleys and cause trouble, to bully a pretty woman. That's not true. That's a lie, Liam. Please believe me, I would never do such a thing." Sophia saw the video evidence. She lost control. She crawled and grabbed Liam's leg. She kept shouting her innocence, but Ethan didn't give her the chance to continue. "Those troublemakers. I've already handed them over to the police. If you're really innocent, you shouldn't be afraid of the police asking you questions." Sophia learned that the bad guys had been arrested. She trembled. She said to Liam, "Liam, you have to help me." Sophia begged, crying, "Please help me, I don't want to go to jail." But Liam looked at her at this point and no longer felt any emotion. He kicked Sophia directly in the stomach. Sophia was thrown back and fell heavily to the ground. Blood came from her mouth. "You bad woman." Liam felt that wasn't enough. He reached straight down and grabbed Sophia by the throat. He questioned her, "How dare you?" Liam squeezed tightly. Sophia's eyes began to turn white. He said, "I just wanted to teach Fiona a lesson. How could you actually let someone do that to Fiona? Who told you to do that?" Sophia was about to suffocate in his hands. Suddenly, she slipped like soft noodles and fell heavily to the ground. Liam finally understood what remorse was. He knelt on the ground and gave himself a dozen hard slaps. "Fiona, I'm sorry. It's all my fault. But I really didn't let anyone do that to you. You must believe me. We've been together for so many years. How could I possibly harm you?" I listened to him and felt quite ironic in my heart. "Liam, didn't you lose your memory? Do you remember how long we've been together?" Liam's expression changed again. He suddenly realized that he had been pretending to have amnesia. Now he might not be able to hide it anymore. He quickly patted his forehead hard and said, "Fiona, I remember now. Fiona, I'm sorry. I didn't do the right thing before. It's because I completely lost my memory. Now I remember. It's my fault. You can punish me in any way you like, but you can't leave me." Liam is really cheeky. He even pretended to be affectionate. I couldn't help but say, "Liam, you've told so many lies. Do you even believe them yourself? You haven't lost your memory at all. You just wanted to ruin my reputation so you could be with Sophia." Liam obviously didn't expect me to know the truth already. He slumped to the ground. He stuttered and asked, "Fiona, when did you know?" I bent down and looked him in the eye. I said, "Do you remember? You're the one who posted my picture online when everyone was accusing me of assault. Liam, I've always been good to you. I've practically treated you like family. If you don't love me anymore, just tell me. Why did you have to hurt me like this? Why did you have to drive me to the brink? Don't you understand? For a host with as many followers as me, my reputation is everything. But you still found someone to take secret photos of me, and you let them take advantage of me. Where is your conscience? My parents treated you so well. Don't you remember? The more I shouted, the more agitated I became. It was as if I was pouring out all the grievances and dissatisfaction I had accumulated over time." Liam was a little confused by my barrage of questions. He froze in his tracks. His eyes were red. "Fiona, don't get me wrong. I never meant to hurt you." He was still trying to justify the fact that he had someone take intimate photos of me. "I just wanted to scare you a little, to make you behave, to do what I tell you to do in the future. They dared to treat you like that. They were completely under the influence of this man." His anger seemed to have found an outlet. He then turned his attention to Sophia, who had almost been strangled by him earlier. "I just find it quite ridiculous. Do you really feel aggrieved? You're the one who had me filmed, aren't you? You're the one who hired someone to attack me online, aren't you? You're the one who insulted me in public, aren't you?" Liam was speechless by my questions. "Didn't you ask me to give your girlfriend a blood transfusion? And didn't you lock me up in this basement?" I remember everything clearly. After his accident, I stayed up all night. I was worried sick about him. Even though I thought he really had amnesia, I didn't hesitate to try every method to help him regain his memory. And yet, this is how he treats me. Now, whether he really has amnesia is no longer important. He has caused me actual harm. I cannot forgive him. Liam seems to be aware of this as well. He sheds tears. "Fiona, don't do this to me," he pleads. "Please give me a chance to make amends. I will take good care of you and protect you." He tried to crawl over to me to apologize. "Fiona, you promised to marry me before. Please don't leave me. We'll be together forever." Sophia, who had just woken up, happened to hear this. "Liam, you can't marry her. You promised me before that you'd be with me." As soon as Sophia woke up, she came over like sticky sugar. Liam pushed her away without mercy, coldly saying, "It's all because of you. Fiona has gone through all those terrible things. Just go." Ethan, who had been hugging me, saw this. He signaled for Sophia to be taken away. Sophia was then completely awakened. She looked at Ethan, then at me. Her face instantly turned pale. "Fiona, please let me go. I was wrong, really wrong. I shouldn't have asked someone to target you." I looked at her coldly and said, "Please let her go." When I was surrounded by those rascals, did they ever think about letting me go? Ethan understood what I meant as soon as he heard it. No matter how Sophia cried out in protest, she was finally taken away. Liam saw that Sophia's problem had been dealt with and looked at me with pleading eyes again. He said, "Fiona, Sophia will be punished according to the law. Can you give me another chance to make amends?" I almost couldn't hold back the laughter. "Liam, our marriage has been dissolved. From now on, we are strangers to each other." After saying that, I directly embraced Ethan in front of him. Moreover, I have already promised Ethan that I will become the fiancé of the Anderson family in the future. After hearing my words, Liam's entire body felt like it had been struck by lightning. He lost all his spirit. He looked both regretful and desperate. Ethan, who had been silent, finally picked me up and stood up. Liam, you don't think that instructing someone to take illegal photos is not a crime, do you? The police will come for you too. Ethan glanced at Liam. His eyes held contempt. He said, if I were you, I would think about the future of your company before going in. I have already handed over evidence of your company's tax evasion to the relevant authorities. Just wait and see you go to jail. What did you say? Liam didn't react for a moment. He quickly came over and grabbed my sleeve. Fiona, don't let him fool you. Your parents worked hard to build this company. Are you really willing to let it collapse? Liam is still lying to me. How did you swallow my parents' hard work back then? You know best. Even if Ethan doesn't do this, I will take back the company sooner or later. Liam finally couldn't hold back anymore and hurriedly explained, Fiona, it's not what you think. At that time, what he said now sounded like a dog barking to me. But Ethan laughed and asked, Fiancé, are you satisfied with this betrothal gift? Betrothal gift, I widened my eyes. Yes, it's a betrothal gift. Ethan helped me straighten my clothes. He said, giving you back the company is also returning something to its rightful owner. In the spring, Ethan and I finally received our marriage certificate. He was as happy as a child. He took lots of photos with the certificate. He posted them on his social media. As I looked back on the bits and pieces of my time with Ethan, I felt like I was dreaming. I never imagined that the person everyone said was cold as an iceberg would become my husband. Ethan's face was as red as a big, docile dog. He whispered, do you know I've actually liked you for many years? I frowned and asked, you mean you liked me a long time ago? Ethan lightly tapped the mattress, signaling me to lie down. He asked me, do you remember when you were a child and gave blood to a little injured boy? Ethan gently tucked my quilt. It turned out he lived next door to my house when he was a child. A group of us kids often played together. He accidentally fell from a tall building. He lost a lot of blood. The situation was critical. I gave him blood. He asked me, you also have golden panda blood. Ethan nodded. After I knew that you saved me, I felt that you were glowing. That feeling was really wonderful. It was as if from that moment on, your blood was flowing through my body. As he slowly recalled the past, I gradually remembered more and more. Did I give you a candy later? Ethan smiled a little embarrassedly. I never dared to eat it. In the end, my father lost it when we moved. Ethan didn't tell his wife. He also had a long argument with his father over this. He hugged his wife. He kissed her forehead gently. We both have the same blood type. In the future, if you need a blood transfusion in danger, you don't have to worry as long as I'm around. We don't have to worry. I smiled and pressed my face against his chest. I felt so secure. The day my company moved to a new location, we held a ribbon-cutting ceremony. All of our relatives and friends came. The place was bustling with activity. Suddenly, there was chaos. Someone was shouting, no good, someone's come to cause trouble. Amidst the chaos, I saw Liam. He looked agitated. It seemed like he had lost his mind. Fiona, you are my fiancé. You can only be with me in this life. I'm going to get rid of Ethan and take you back. He was holding a knife. Without hesitation, he stabbed Ethan, but the security guards on the scene responded quickly. They immediately subdued him. Despite this, he was still unwilling to give up. He continued to struggle with all his strength. Fiona, I really love you. Why won't you just forgive me? There are now many reporters and media friends at the scene. If the situation gets out of control, it will definitely damage the company's reputation. I acted immediately. I grabbed the security guard's stun gun. Without hesitation, I swung at Liam, but Ethan was faster. Before I could touch him, Liam was kicked into the middle of the road. He refused to give up. He tried to charge at me again, but then a speeding truck suddenly came out of nowhere. It hit him directly, pushed him forward, and made him slide for dozens of meters. It looked like it was not good. The scene was quickly brought under control. There was no longer any chaos. Ethan took my hand. He looked me over carefully. He asked, "Are you okay?" I shook my head and said, "In the future, if you encounter a situation like this, you'd better stay away. Things like fighting. Let the men handle it." He gave his trademark smirk again afterwards. Police cars and ambulances arrived one after the other. However, Liam's injuries were too severe and showed no signs of life on the spot. I felt a surge of emotion. I never imagined that Liam would use the car accident as an excuse to pretend to have amnesia. In the end, he really died in a car accident, but he deserved it. Ethan and I will continue to live happily ever after.